In the top stories, ceremony to welcome Caribbean Airlines to be held on Monday morning. Minister Clark featured at Energy Transition webinar, and OAS Permanent Mission remembers Sir Tapley Seaton. We'll be right back with the details after this.
In cricket, there are a few essentials. A bat, a pitch, a ball, some fielders, and plenty of refreshments. Enjoy the cricket with Angostura Chill. Angostura Chill, the official refreshment partner of the Hero CPL T20.
49 years of mass and free, Culturama 2023. 49 years of mass and free, Culturama 2023. From Wetfest to Full Free, from Queen Show to Jubilee, Culturama 49, so you must be here.
From July 27th to August 8th, join us in Nevis for the Caribbean's greatest summer line, Culturama 49.
49 years of mass and free, Culturama 2023. 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 49 years of mass.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I'm Jason Davis. Tourism and other government officials will be among those in attendance on Monday morning for a ceremony to mark the inaugural arrival of Caribbean Airlines. The ceremony will be held at the Cayenne Jet Lounge at 10:30 a.m. and among those present will be the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Marcia Henderson, CEO of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, Ellison Tommy Thompson, and a representative from Caribbean Airlines. This new flight will connect Trinidad, Antigua, and St. Kitts. And following this flight, a new route connecting Barbados and St. Kitts will begin operations on the 29th of July. According to a release from Caribbean Airlines, the St. Kitts Antigua Trinidad flight will operate on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays, while the St. Kitts Barbados flight will operate on Thursdays and Saturdays. Minister of Environment, Climate Action and Constituency Empowerment, the Honorable Dr. Joel Clark, was the main presenter at a webinar on Thursday on Caribbean Perspectives, Energy Transition, leading up to the Conference of the Parties, or COP28. The webinar was facilitated by the Caribbean team associated with Climate Tracker, a global organization that supports environmentalists and journalists to better communicate on the climate crisis. The minister addressed the major challenges encountered in the just energy transition for the Caribbean that centered around making energy more cost-effective to the most vulnerable, as well as offering advice and suggestions to the audience on major stories that Caribbean journalists can anticipate when reporting on the energy transition, and ultimately at COP28 that takes place in the United Arab Emirates from November 20 to December 12. The audience was made up of journalists and people who specialize in communications from across the region who are interested in learning and reporting on energy transition in the Caribbean, as this would be one of the highlights of COP28. The webinar was part of a three-part series, with the other two focusing on carbon markets and loss and damage from regional perspectives. Locally, the webinar functioned as part of the engagement activities leading up to COP28. The permanent mission of St. Kitts and Nevis to the Organization of American States paid homage to the late former Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seaton, GCMG, CVO KCJP LLD at a meeting of the OAS Permanent Council on Wednesday in Washington, D.C. The statement delivered by Counselor at Permanent Mission of St. Kitts and Nevis to the OAS, Sonia Boddy Thompson, said that St. Christopher and Nevis and the Caribbean had lost an exemplary and illustrious son who would be fondly remembered for his sterling, indelible, and multifaceted contribution to nation building and to the advancement of the people of the region. Among the contributions highlighted were the former Governor General's contribution to national development, his outstanding service as the 4th Governor General of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis, and his long and distinguished career of service to his beloved country and people from September 2015 to January 2023. He was praised as the first Attorney General of an independent St. Christopher and Nevis and was credited with being one of the architects of the Constitution. In the brief tribute paid to his memory, the statement referenced his keen acumen for legislative drafting and stewardship of many important pieces of legislation which served to strengthen the legislative framework of the Federation, and noted his wide-ranging and impactful civic contributions to his country and to the broader Caribbean. Coming up, we'll have another look at some of the stories from the past week. Stay tuned.
I wonder if Auntie will be able to figure out this riddle. Let's see. Auntie, I have a riddle for you.
Let's hear it.
Where can you shop and get cash back in free groceries for a year?
Huh? Where can you shop and get cash back in free groceries for a year?
Come on, Auntie, you should know this.
I really can't think what the answer could be.
It's SL Housewords, duh.
How do you know this?
Because Mom shops there all the time.
Come here, you little nosy prince.
Riddle that cashback. It's that time of the year. Cashback season is here. Get cashback coupons for free groceries with every hire purchase at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Plus, a chance to win free groceries for a year.
Welcome back. The Federation said farewell to former Governor General, the late Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seaton, GCMG CVO KCJP LLD, with a state funeral on Thursday. More in this report.
Proceedings for the state funeral of the late Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seaton, GCMG CVO KCJP LLD, former Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, began with the body lying in state at Government House. Members of the public were given the opportunity to pay their final respects to Sir Tapley from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. At the end of the public viewing, the body was taken from Government House to his residence at Market Street and then to the Zion Moravian Church at Victoria Road for the state funeral service. Following the service, the body was interred at Springfield Cemetery. At the gravesite, persons attending the funeral continued to pay their final respects to Sir Tapley, among them leaders from across the region, including heads of state and other senior dignitaries from Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, and Anguilla. Sir Tapley is being remembered not only for his contributions to the legal fraternity of St. Kitts and Nevis, but also for his commitment to history and heritage, particularly the Brimstone Hill Fortress National Park Society and the St. Christopher National Trust. Reporting from Springfield in Basse-Terre for ZIZ News, I'm Jason Davis.
Prime Minister, the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, says he plans to use a multi-billion euro financing opportunity from the European Union to improve the Federation's water infrastructure. Here's more.
With the European Union announcing a commitment of up to 45 billion euros to the region during the recently concluded EU CELAC summit held in Brussels, Belgium, Prime Minister Honourable Dr. Terence Drew is seeking to utilize these funds to improve the Federation's water infrastructure. During the Prime Minister's roundtable on Friday, Dr. Drew mentioned that a way to access these funds would be through the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, and other similar institutions.
We just got very good news that the French and France is now going to re-enter to support the CDB, that's the Caribbean Development Bank. Just last evening in our OECS chat, that was mentioned, our Caribbean leaders chat that was mentioned. And so that would be one of the ways in which we will be able to access funding from the European Union or from Europe through these type of institutions.
He noted that in an effort to become resilient, funding is needed for key projects that will improve the water services around the island.
And if we are to build resilience, we have to invest the monies where the money should be invested. And that we are seeking funding for water. Right now in Cayon, as you know, we are drilling. In less than a year, the government has started to drill in Cayon for water. We can access at least 500,000 gallons, which will end the water issue for Cayon, Keys, that whole area, and help St. Peter's because there would not be any diversion of water from one area to the other. At the same time, we are expanding the plant at Marriott. This is where investments we need. This is where we need to put our money. Over at Marriott, where we have now expanded the desal plant. Right now, we are getting 150,000 gallons. We are now stepping up that to about 450,000 gallons, which will take care of the Southeast Peninsula. Everybody knows that Christophe Harbour has problems. We are now putting in a pump. They're going to pump water up to Timothy Hill, and that water will serve Christophe Harbour.
The Prime Minister also outlined some of the initiatives to improve the Federation's water services.
We are now going to roll out a water storage tank system, which I'll explain later on. That is where we want to put our money. And we are going to build a new desal plant, which was approved in the last cabinet and was part of the post-cabinet briefing. A 2 million gallon desal plant. We are serious. People in St. Kitts should have access to water. And in less than a year, we have started drilling in Cayon. In less than a year, we are rolling out our storage tank. For those who have it worse, we're going to give them tanks, and at least we can fill them that can last days for them at a time. And thirdly, we have approved Marriott expansion of the desal plant. And fourthly, we are going to build a brand new desal plant that is already approved.
He also mentioned that in addition to building out the water infrastructure with a new water company, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis could benefit through shares of the company being sold and dividends being collected.
The management of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation wishes to denounce an advertisement on various social media platforms using imagery and logos belonging to the company to publicize an article that was not written or sanctioned by ZBC. Here's more.
When clicked, the link takes you to an article which claims that Dr. Timothy Harris has launched a new project that aims to help families get rich through a cryptocurrency trading platform called Immediate Edge. Immediate Edge promises to transform anyone into a millionaire within 3 to 4 weeks, but requires users to make an initial deposit of $250. The management of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation says the company does not align itself with these claims or the platform Immediate Edge and urges the public to ignore such posts. Meanwhile, Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris has also condemned the post, saying that he is in no way connected to the article or the promoted platform.
I am not involved in any initiative, any project, any program that is about showing people or leading people to quick rich schemes. The purported article, which claimed to have in the background, that I said, it's really, in my view, a fraud and a scam. And I would warn all people everywhere, but in particular those from St. Kitts and Nevis, not to be drawn in these quick rich which schemes?
In November of 2022, a similar post was circulated using the image of former Governor General Sir Tapley Seaton, claiming that he had launched a project to help make families wealthier. Sir Tapley issued a statement saying, quote, "I unreservedly refute this story as false and malicious in an attempt to involve me in a matter of which I have no knowledge. I have and I am fully engaged in the discharge of my duties as Governor General and condemn this false and malicious."
After the break, St. Lucia concerned about UK visa-free access and